We have 1 minute left before the start. So good afternoon. My name is Martijn van den Berg, account manager at IFS Ultimo. And for this afternoon, your moderator. I will do a short announcement. It is possible to ask questions on the right side of the screen, which we will address after the session. Yes, then it's time to introduce the next speaker. His name is Rick Witkam. He is from ICT Group. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you very much.
I think you have the controls over the PowerPoint.
I should. Yes.
We have 1 minute left, so. Yeah, 15:05.
Yes, shall we?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, thank you for the introduction, Martijn. Like I already said, my name is Rick Witkam. I'm from ICT Netherlands, and I'm a developer there, and I'm mainly focused on the HoloNXT. I will tell you a bit later about what it is, what we do with HoloNXT, and how we integrated it with Ultimo. So let's get started. To start off, currently in the world there are a few things going on. Knowledge is aging away slowly, with people retiring or finding other jobs. And with that, information about, for instance, complex systems or installations falls apart. In addition to that, those installations also become more and more complex. And it's getting more difficult to get the right data at the right moment, at the right time in your equipment. Having the support of professionals at it, especially remotely, is getting also more and more difficult. So at ICT, what we did, we created a platform called HoloNXT. And with that platform, you're able to store knowledge in an efficient way, show it in a very understandable way, and make sure those actions you need to do at your equipment. For instance, on the side you see here a printer, a bit more ease equipment, to show instructions you need to do. For instance, if you need to change your paper, or with more complex systems that you can actually do some maintenance in there. And we do that in multiple ways. At first, HoloNXT is a cloud-based platform. What we effectively do is we consume data from all different sources, including Ultimo, and we show that at your equipment. For instance, the printer we just had, we show at that a few data sources from what level of ink is, or what level of paper it is. In addition, with all information from, for instance, Ultimo, with what is the type of it, and what kind of variables are in there. And that way we can combine not only things for Ultimo, but also, for instance, from a YouTube instruction video, show all sorts of information real life at the actual equipment in variable ways of visualization. Multiple options in there. We have the opportunity to actually present it with already predefined or online instructions. Think, for instance, having to change paper, going step by step, every way, how you have to do it in 3D. And you can do that via or a phone, a tablet, but also even with mixed reality or augmented reality glasses, for instance, the HoloLens. With that, you can also use the whole equipment, essentially. And of course, we connected that with, and we integrated that with Ultimo. I already told a bit about it, but what we did, we connected our backend clients with those of Ultimo and retrieved all the information we needed in there. In this example, we have an orange bike where you see all sorts of information on the Ultimo on your left side of the screen, or right side, I don't know where you need to look. And with those information, we visualize that in a 3D space around the actual bike. But not only the equipment information as what kind of equipment is it, how old is it, or when do we need to have maintenance done, but also the jobs open at that specific equipment. And also, potentially, what do we do to actually use that equipment or use those jobs. You see on the right side, the screen with the bike itself, you also see a small arrow, a right arrow, for instance, pointing at one of the pedals, indicating that it needs to be changed, or at least inspected. And that's not the only functionality we have in HoloNXT. There are a few other things, for instance, navigation on site. If you have a big factory and you need to have some sort of navigation in there, it's possible to know which point you're at, know 3D-wise where you have to go, and step by step essentially go through your factory. In addition, you can also, like I already showed, have a lot of information and documentation in the real world with mixed reality. That doesn't limit itself to, of course, the instructions and indicators, which are already some. It's also possible, for instance, to have a manual next to your bike, so you don't have to fully rely on those instructions already predefined. You can all, of course, have the freedom to handle yourself. Plus, it's not only needed to work only for yourself. You can work together with colleagues. For instance, having multiple HoloLenses, your PCs or mobile devices, which is synchronized, which your actions are synchronized over all sorts of platforms. And in addition, if you want to simply show a customer what you have created with HoloNXT, you're able to assign a viewer role, for instance, where they don't press all the buttons they see on site because it's attractive. You can simply say, block that role off, and then it's impossible essentially to break in there. And of course, not everything has to be done in mixed reality. There are some platforms and websites which help with administrative settings, for instance, with assigning those rules, with assigning certain values, programming that in, that's all being done via websites. Plus, it works together with multiple other applications from, for instance, Microsoft with their Teams environment or Remote Assist, or with their simple web browsers to show, for instance, like I already showed, with some videos to help. And of course, there are a lot of benefits on the product. What else? But to explain a bit with an example, a few years back, when we were still in the beginning phases of HoloNXT, we were shooting some sort of promotional video. And together with some colleagues, both programmers just like me, but also from marketing and camera people who don't have the technical knowledge, we went to a cleaning or water purification site, where we showed the process of a small part of their equipment. Those equipments can be very complicated very quickly, so to understand it in short time can be difficult. However, those people of marketing and for the camera people with only like 10-15 minutes with the HoloLens, they already started to at least understand how the whole process in that one chamber worked. So it really helps you to get better and faster insight in a bit more complex installations, having a bit more situational awareness essentially. And it helps, of course, with shortening the training time. In addition, coming back to the earlier example, the water purification doesn't only go above ground. There's also a lot of underground piping there, which we need to visualize as well, and which we can visualize with a mixed reality solution like this. And that way, because you have all the information quickly, you understand it quickly as well, it makes it more helpful to actually act more quickly, have some extra security, and get some job certification as well. I understood that these presentations will be shared later on as well. So I added two links to the presentation as well. If you have more interest in it, you can have a look through them. The first one is an article about HoloNXT and what we do with it, a bit like I told you today. In addition, we also have a promotional video, which shows you also some examples with moving images, of course, which might interest you as well. And of course, if you have even more interest, you're always welcome to contact us. You can contact my colleague with the address and phone number down below. If you're interested in the demo or want some more information, you're always free to contact us. And that was it from my side. Thank you very much for listening all. And if there are questions, I believe Martijn can help us.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have 1 minute left, so I think we don't have time to address all the questions, but first one is, how are you enabling multi-user experiences, and can this be done over multiple type of devices?
Yes. The multi-user experience, what we do, all movements with the holograms or when you press a button is synchronized via our backend. With that, we essentially broadcast an action you take with the local devices or the devices exactly combined with that server platform. In that way, it's possible to have multiple devices, for instance, a HoloLens, which I already said, but also your mobile phone, not dependent on the platform, connected to it and have it synchronized.
Thank you very much, Rick. Yeah, we're right on the 15-minute mark, so that's great.
Perfect.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Yeah, some other questions, if they pop in, then I will ask them, I will send them through to Rick, so he can answer them afterwards. Thank you very much, and we will go into the next session in 5 minutes.
Thank you very much.